Hi, I'm your host, Ron Knight.
And I'm John Williams III, co-host of the show.
Join us for the Entertainment First podcast every week. It's all about the music and more. All right, John. Big John E. Williams is with me today, and we got a super beautiful guest today on our show. That's right, Entertainment First podcast show, where it's all about the music and more. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one and only Miss Rosalind Taylor Jordan on our show. But first, let me just hip everybody out there as to who you are. With over 15 years working in the entertainment industry, this girl has really put in some time. Rosalind Taylor Jordan has pioneered through reality TV shows for 15 years. And I'll tell you, that's a feat in itself. Okay? As an acting senior casting director, so that means you've been involved in seeing whether we get the job or not.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Also, I realized that you did the A Dating Story. You did Urban Nature, Dr. Phil Prime Time Specials. You've done Kids Say the Damnedest Things, Friends with the Benefits, The Big Guy, Social Games, Randy Jackson's Dance Crew, Sunday Best, and Greg Barrett show, is it? Barrett, Greg Barrett, and Bachelor Till All, America's Most Talented Kid, and The Bad Hair Project. Girl, you've really built your resume
America's
up.
Got Talent, Survivor, Amazing Race, The Bachelor. I've kind of been there since it started. Before it was actually called reality TV, it was just, you just kind of went to work and
Yeah, just did.
looked for people. So my job was a recruiter. I was a contestant coordinator is what they called it.
Okay.
So I would go out, now I just get regular people, and I was working at MTV at the time, right when
Did you enjoy working at MTV, or what? I mean, how did your job go at working?
My
for MTV?
first job at MTV, I made $75 a day for 12-hour days.
Yeah, it sounds like a extra. You know, that's what extras used to make.
Man, extras made more than I
Yeah,
did.
I only made 80.
That part.
Yeah,
So, you know what I'm
$80.
So when I ended up working at, like I was telling you,
Earlier.
I didn't plan my life. This was not something that I was after. It was something that was, as we discussed, in Hollywood.
Right.
A lot of times it's the right place at the right time, and there's really nothing you can do about it, but that's where people say, oh, you got lucky. No, it's where opportunity meets preparation.
That's right. You
I
gotta
was
be
prepared for the opportunity. It happened. I was open to it, and that's what happened. So if you are open, as we discussed,
Sure.
when you say yes, I always say yes, that sounds fun, I'll do it, then you win. But if you go in with a different intent, and you're like, as we said, I gotta make it, I'm working, I'm trying to get an agent, I'm doing this, it's useless because, there has to be flow in your
Sure.
life.
I
you know?
agree. Now, let me ask you something. So, during the time you work, because we're both we're very familiar, especially with Los Angeles,
Yes.
because I lived there for a good 25 years before I departed and went to Australia. I actually lived in Palms.
Oh, Palms,
Yes.
you're my neighbor.
Yes.
I'm in Culver
On
City.
Jasmine Avenue. I lived on
Jasmine, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, that's straight.
I lived
That's
on
straight
Jasmine
down
Avenue.
the street from me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Tarzana now,
Where you
but
at? Where you at? Where?
in Tarzana,
No, in
in Culver City, I literally live downtown.
oh, you live there now.
Well, going through a divorce.
Because I was going to ask you, there was, I said to
That's
Kimberly
the one.
earlier, I said, I bet you she knows where Wade Avenue is.
Listen, I am downtown. My two boys and my husband
Mm-hmm.
are living in Culver City. So we moved from Rancho. I bought my house so it's a big deal to buy a house in LA.
Oh, tell me about it.
I bought my house in 2000.
And you bought it where?
In Rancho Park, next to Chevy's house.
In Rancho Park. Wow, man, I used to hang out in Rancho
God is
Park.
good. So, I bought my house,
Mhm.
and my husband and I moved in, and then at 2015, because you know the school systems
Sure.
in LA, I'm not doing private. I really wanted my kids to grow up like I did. It's like you don't need to go to private school because they have a different reality than
That's
you
right,
do.
they do. They
Let's
do.
just live in reality, is what I say. Doesn't mean that we can't get there, but where your reality is here. And I don't want my kids having anxiety about what you don't have and looking at over your shoulder.
I actually
So-
taught at Fairfax.
You taught at Fairfax High,
Yeah, I used to
dude.
teach
That's
at
baller
Fairfax.
status.
I used to teach at Fairfax.
What did you teach?
Everything, because trust me, everything.
Wow.
Everything in
That
Fairfax.
school is like on the map. You know.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
it was-
If you don't know,
It was
that
originally.
Fairfax is probably the most and funny thing is, my friend Keith Hastings, who owns Boaz Entertainment, he'll love me giving him a plug, in Las Vegas, Boaz Entertainment Group. Anyway, we were talking about that and going in and
Right.
making that happen. I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna be at Fairfax. He went to Fairfax. He went with who's some of the big alumni from there? Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz. A lot of people went to Fairfax.
A lot
That
of
and Hollywood
people
High.
in Hollywood
And
High.
Hollywood High.
So you came from like a your whole life has been kind of like an epicenter of everything.
Oh yeah, because I ended up teaching on Fairfax and Santa Monica. I don't know if you know it, but there was a music school that sat on the corner there, and I taught with a friend of mine named Bob Wolin, who actually taught. What's the guy from the guitar player?
Flash?
Flash.
Oh wow!
Slash.
Oh Slash! He
Yeah,
was
Slash.
with Michael Jackson with the big
Yeah,
hair and the
Slash.
hat.
Yeah, actually Slash has my best friend's technique. That's what he used on stage. When he came, he didn't play very well. But Bob is a great guitarist. Actually, he's a mathematician, and they teach privately now because we actually got out of the school system in Los Angeles. We pulled out
Why?
because
I mean, I know
because
why.
at that
but I'm
time, yeah,
asking.
because at that time there was a lot of young girls that were out of control. And because we were male, and they were really busting a lot of guys for no reason, because some of the young girls not understanding, you know, their role between teacher and student would sometimes just force themselves on the teachers. And I said to him one day, you know what, man, I'm out, because there's no way, because I had seen it happen. I had seen it happen for no reason. So he teaches with his wife now in Silver Lake, and they teach privately. They teach privately now. We all went to, and then Kimberly and I started a theater school in Australia. I had so many people. We ended up. I ended up stopping.
All I'm going to say
Yeah.
is, Kimberly, I would like to go to Australia. I did Survivor season 2,
All right.
and I was in Australia. So my job on Survivor was season 1. Well, the bottom line is I would do the casting, and then when they would go over to the island, I would, once they, tribe is spoken,
Yeah.
they walked down the plank, they were coming to me. I was like, what's up? So second season we were in Australia, and I was living in a house in Queensland.
In Queensland?
Queensland. And I was a Kiwi,
Yeah, right.
because all of our security guys were Kiwis, so they were
Yes,
teaching
right.
me all the different things to say, and kind of a big deal over in
You
Australia.
know,
I'll just say.
you can't go up there right now.
Can't go up where?
Now the two states are, you're not allowed to go from New South Wales
Queensland?
to
You
Queensland.
can't go from Queensland
No,
to Australia?
right now, that's the security they have going right now.
Oh, because of COVID.
Yeah, because of that, but it's, we spoke
You know what's
about
up.
it.
Yeah. That part.
I'm trying to stay away from we will stay away from that conversation.
We'd like to keep it positive.
So tell me, what are some of the projects you're working on right now, as a matter of fact? That's what we had talked a little bit about it earlier.
Yes.
But I want to know what you're actually working on right now.
Well, right now, I'm really excited because after, as you said, being in television for such a long time, there's so much great talent. There's so many incredible people who really deserve a shot, and they're not getting it.
Right.
And as a creative, we have nothing else to do but to give our gift of creativity to the world. So what God gave me in my spirit was to support that effort. So after being on all these big shows, specifically one of them being America's Got Talent for so long, there were so many kids that I met that came through that were spectacular, that we just didn't have room for them.
Yeah, right.
There was just no room on that show. You weren't gonna get in because we
That's
already
right.
had that type. You know what I mean? And so I have tens of thousands, I'm not kidding,
Yeah.
of people in my database, in my Rolodex, tens of thousands who've applied. I've interviewed, I guarantee you, over 50, 60,000 people. I've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
So I've interviewed everybody. And the one thing that always made my heart ache was that I couldn't put that kid on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because you weren't good. That's why as a casting director, I need people to know you're great. It's not that you're not great. It's just only a certain amount of time or really or space. So as we discussed, being able, which I love about what you're doing, is being able to give all these independent artists and Just Righteousness Foundations where we are, giving all these independent artists an opportunity to share their vision and their passion, and me coming from network to bring them up to network level. So I've started Acro Studio, which
John, do you want to ask her a question while you're here? Because you were talking to me about it a little bit earlier. So what did you have to say?
Well, I forgot what I asked you exactly.
Well, make up something.
But, you know, I mean, and I well, once upon a
and you know, I
time.
can figure it out. I can talk to
That's right,
myself.
you can talk.
If you've noticed, I'm pretty good at talking to myself.
But
So
I'm sure
hey
you-
everybody,
but he
it's
asked me-
Roz. I'm
he
TJ here hanging out today.
He asked me something about you. So go ahead.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, I'm doing something like that, which is a class with Broadway to help educate kids about theater and keeping the arts in the schools. Four musicals added into one, where it's a 32 city tour, 720 performances, where we'll be at the Amiston, I think it is in LA.
Wait.
But where the kids would participate with the chorus and the drive that would give the kids to go on, you know. So,
What you're doing is super spectacular. I love that word because
It's
I
a-
don't use it a lot.
Yes.
But right now it's necessary because they need inspiration.
oh yeah,
They're still in our lives. So when you stifle creativity, you're killing the soul, you're killing the spirit. So I want to applaud you
thank you.
because it really is necessary. These babies need help.
Oh yeah. So
They
that-
need opportunity and exposure. That's what I think.
Now, you know, I noticed that you also was known for your starring role in Nickelodeon's Chalk Zone as the voice of spunky Queen Rapsheba. Tell us about Rapsheba, because I know there's a story behind Rapsheba, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that, Rapsheba.
Rap Sheba. I'm like, seriously? Like, I don't rap. Bill Burnett is the executive producer who created that show. And he met me, I don't know where. I like your voice. And as I said, I did voiceovers, you know, whatever. And I didn't anticipate getting that gig. But he was so enamored with my voice, he made a character for me. And that has happened to me on several different opportunities, like the Hughleys. I went to audition. I'm like, I'm not a brilliant actor. Don't really know what to tell y'all. I'm a babysitter. They're like, no, we want a hot babysitter, not you. I was like, okay, going home. What they do, bring me back, made a part. So I tell people, as you know, with your prolific, amazing career, as we know, as you guys know, don't say no. Just be open. Be available, and then it happens. I didn't want to do voiceovers. It chased me down. I wasn't an actor. It chased me down. I like being a casting director. I like being a producer. I like making television. I like putting people on TV. I'm just not one who wants to do it. So when Bill and those guys gave me that opportunity, it was really fun. And if I had said no because I was like, I always think about what I can't do. And that is really a limiting belief, and I'm working on the mindset, and I talk to my students about the mindset.
But
because
you know, that's a mindset, honestly, from my experience, that's a mindset of Virgos, period. Michael Jackson had it too.
Did he?
Yeah, Kimberly has it. For some reason, I mean, look, I'm not one to say, oh, I don't understand it or I understand it, right?
Yeah.
It's in the personality, you know, it's just in the person. Nobody can shame you for it. But that's the way it is for you, because you're not one to say, like me as a Gemini, see, I don't really care whether I am out front, but my other side of me
Wants to be out front. My son's a Gemini, by the way, May 30th.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that duality.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
really
out front.
care. If you step up in front of me, I'm not going to push you out of the way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you ask me to just be out there in front, and
I'm good.
I'm good. You see what I'm saying? So don't ever feel bad about it. From what I know about Virgo people, and I know a lot of them, that is something that I can say truly sets in stone in astrology. That they are very much like that in just their personality. Because I go through it with her a lot, you know. She's not one, when she was dancing in our
But
show.
your girl is hot, though, unfortunately for you. So
Yeah,
she's
but-
going to get attention regardless.
No,
Just saying.
but that's, I could say the same about you. That's just the way you are. That's just the way you are.
Well, I believe that's part of MILF Mob. Because, you know, it's about, the thing about that I love about what I've been able to do that God gave me is to be able to shine a light on you.
Right.
Or those babies that you're working with. Or like Just Righteousness Foundation.
Right.
Or this podcast. Like, we are to be light and salt, right? And you want to encourage and inspire.
Right.
And when you're in a position of power and authority, as I say, with much, what does it say? With much power comes responsibility. What is it? Come on, somebody
Yeah,
knows.
that's
You
it.
gotta know this. You gotta know.
I forgot it.
Superheroes know what's up.
Yeah, they do.
What
They
did
do.
Spider-Man say? And mind you, I worked for Stan Lee.
Uh-huh.
Stan Lee told me, I would just say this, because this is probably one of the greatest compliments I ever got from being a casting director, was from Stan Lee. And he told me, Rosie, I really like, Darth Vader, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, because I was like deer in headlights. His assistant actually told me, and then when I saw him later, he told me again. But she said, Roz, you gave him one of his favorite characters when you did Who Wants to Be a Superhero, because I cast Who Wants to Be a Superhero for
Right.
him, and all these great people. And when he said that, Stan Lee, my son, lives for Spider-Man.
Right.
Stan Lee is one of the most generous people in the planet who
Oh,
was.
yeah, he gave a lot.
He gave a lot. He wrote encyclopedias and dedicated them to
Do
my
you
sons.
know that I've followed his comic books since the 50s. I knew all of the stories. As a matter of fact, not all of the stories is out there.
True
A lot of people
that.
don't know
That's
that.
right. They don't
A lot
know.
of,
That's
you have
right.
to be a certain age to know that those
Or
stories
you gotta be
are
connected
not there.
to
They
a
have
couple
not
people.
come out yet. Okay. And it's a shame that I didn't. I still have some comics. I still have comics. But if I had kept all of the Stan Lee comics from
billionaire.
1952, man,
You'd be on fire.
I'd be on fire.
Fire.
I had it all. I had it all.
But we don't ever know, you
No.
know? Hindsight's 20/20. Everybody's a backstring quarterback. You should have done, you should have done. Well, you weren't there when it
That's right.
happened, were you? I don't think so. So, everything that's happened is from your faculties.
Yes.
Everything is from your spirit. Everything that happens is from your purposefulness. And I believe that, truly. So, I never, as I said, I had no desire to be on TV or a casting director or anything in television. I thought I was going to have I spoke Spanish, estudié en la escuela para 6 años, and I was living in Spanish somewhere else. I was gone, okay, by the way. And then, as I said, other plans happened. So for me, I really truly believe that collaboration and your path will be revealed to you.
Yeah, you can't escape it.
You can, I'm Jonah,
Yeah, you can't escape
just to be clear. I was not trying to do what I was doing.
it. Right.
And I've run several times. So when you said, what are you doing now? I don't even like talking about what I'm doing now because I'm so excited about what I'm doing now because it's not about me. What I'm doing now has everything to do with you and with every single person that you're trying to help and the foundation that I'm working with is trying to help.
Right.
It really is about these kids. It really is about independent artists who, like us, have made so many shows, have put in so much time in Hollywood to have been marginalized,
Oh, yeah.
disenfranchised, screwed over
Mhm.
on every level. So the integrity that we expect, that we come with, is not there. And it's really difficult to deal with people who don't have the same mindset. That's why I keep getting kind of messed up a little bit. Because I have integrity. I do work ethic. I work. People don't want to work no more.
No, they don't.
They don't want to work. What happened?
What happened is the fact that I hate to push it on this justice, but because I've observed it over several decades, and because of my age now too, as you go along, you learn a lot of things. Some people learn it, some people get taught it, some people take it in and then they utilize it. Well, what I've seen, I got involved in computers probably in 1975. My brother was involved in computers who was very, very good for the United States Air Force in Frankfurt, Germany.
Wow. So both of you guys went to the military.
Yeah, I was drafted, my brother wasn't drafted. I was lucky because I didn't have to serve with a gun. I ended up doing USO, where I had to sing for the troops.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me, but what I've learned over the period of time now is that computers were always there, but they never were accessible to the masses.
It was always government, military, because
Yes.
everything starts with
Right,
the military.
but
government
until they
trickles
found
down.
out, the two guys that actually put it together, it was only two guys that put that together. And what happened with them was that one of them went to work for the government. The other one didn't go to work for the government. So when it came time to make it sort of like, I don't want to use the word franchise, but when they finally got it to get out to everyone, they decided and said, the guy said, well, you can do what you want with computers to the government. And the guy said, because they didn't realize it at first, but he said, because you funded the whole thing. Because the government had no idea that they could do it.
Wow.
When they found out they had funded it, then they realized that they could do that. So getting all the way up to now to the question you said, what you were talking about before, and that is why people don't want to work. Because once those phones got into the hands of the kids, that was a great way, and it is still a great way, to program people. And we all have to use it. We all have to use it. Because I even know myself now, even with my business constituents, they go, man, why don't you have a phone? Why can't you have a phone? Personally, I don't like phones. That's me. She'll tell you. I really
You literally don't have a phone?
I literally do not.
So you have Kimberly answer all your calls?
Most of the time. Most of the time.
Baller.
Because it
Who
intrudes
does that? Who don't have a phone?
It
in
intrudes
2020?
in my privacy.
Privacy.
Yeah,
Let's
it
talk about the
intrudes.
illusion of privacy.
It intrudes on me. I don't really like it. I don't like the idea that somebody can call me when I'm asleep, trying to get my sleep during the day. I don't like that. I don't like that. To me, and she'll tell you, my phone rings all the time for that. As soon as I get ready to... We'll be right back in just a few minutes with more of Rosalind Taylor Jordan.
Be good. Don't party, okay?
I did the craziest thing today.
Was it something gross?
It was just something I never thought I'd do. like ever.
Did your parents find out?
Yeah, they were totally shocked. My mom cried. And for the first time in a long time, I just felt good.
What did you do?
They said if I did coke, I could party all night. They said if I did coke, I could party all night. They lied. Find out the truth about cocaine. drugfreeworld.org.
All right, we're back once again. Entertainment First podcast, where it's all about the music and more. Rosalind, John has the last question for you today, and he's been bumping me under the table
I'm
trying
so
to
sad.
ask this
You
question.
guys are so yummy.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
She's
Can I
wonderful.
stay?
No, we really hate beautiful people to go. We really do.
Well,
But
Kimberly
we
should
all-
be sitting
like
next to
you
me.
said,
We'll have two co-hosts,
you
me and
always said-
Kimberly, and you and John.
What's
What's up? What's up, Pastor Mahalamada? What's up over here? Just right. I'm available.
Go ahead, John.
Okay.
To be a part. No.
So, good question for you. Being a casting director, when you cast somebody and you have a balance between a lot of people that are very good, how is it hard to really choose and then find out that you should have chose somebody else? How does it feel?
I never choose somebody else. So I don't know what that feels like.
Right, but when you're balancing between a few people, how does it come down to deciding?
How I pick that person?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, people always want to know, how do you become a casting director? Like, how do you do that? I don't know. If you heard my story, you ain't gonna want to hear it, because I didn't choose it. What it is, I think the most important thing is to look for authenticity. People who really can connect with real people, who really have a spark, a fire, they're uninhibited. I ask you a question, you respond. I'm not pulling teeth. You know what I mean? The cream rises to the top no matter what. So depending on what the project is, let's say it's singing, okay? Because you're a great singer, right? And you know you've worked with a ton of people. When you come prepared, it's different than if you're not prepared.
That's right, it does. That's right.
A lot of times it comes down to preparation. It's not really about whether you're good or not good, it's that you weren't prepared for the opportunity. And it brings us back to being prepared. It's not luck, it's you did the work. Actors put a lot of time in. When you see what I get as a casting director that I want everybody to know is, those actors have put a whole heck of a lot of time in before you ever see them on screen.
That's right.
They've gone to classes, because I teach Acro Studio, and they're coming in there. They're diligent, they're purposeful, they have spark, they have fire, they have passion to tell your story. An actor is telling somebody else's story, so they lead with empathy. Most actors have empathy, because you have to leave your judgment at the door. I can't play a drug addict if I'm not a drug addict. No, I can play a
that's
drug addict. I just have to have empathy for where they are. That's the same thing. As a casting director, I look for who's the most authentic, who's really giving me their version of who they are in that situation. But because I've done reality television for over 20 years, I'm looking for real people. So mine is not an actor. I'm only looking for real people.
Yeah. People
And
who
when-
are really doing it already.
People who are really doing it, or like for Survivor or whatever the show is. It's like you're looking for someone who has a story, someone you can share their journey, and someone who's going to take you somewhere you didn't expect to go.
You know, it's funny that you said that, and I'll wrap it up with this. I auditioned for X Factor
Oh, okay. I worked for
in
3
Los
years, for 9
Angeles.
years.
In Los Angeles
Yep.
at the Coliseum.
Okay.
20,000 people showed
That's
up.
right. That's
And I mean,
right.
and I'm not exaggerating. You know,
That's my job.
20,000 people showed up.
Amen. And
Kimberly and I went there at the Coliseum at 4:30 in the morning.
to get in line, so you
Lucky
can be one of the
enough,
fronts.
lucky enough, we were in line, and I was about 500 back.
At what time did you show up?
4 o'clock in the morning.
That part right there. You wanted it though. And how great did it
Cameras
go for
found,
you?
like you said, the cameras actually found
They
us.
did. That's
Even in the
right.
position that we were, right?
Because
Now-
you showed up at 4:30
Now let me,
a.m.
now let me finish. I invented a character because I went there thinking, I'm not going to go there the same way everybody else goes. So Kimberly designed a costume for me, and we named it Forever Light. I had haters. I went inside the Coliseum and practiced. I had haters come over and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, and I took an Earth, Wind, and Fire song to sing inside that Coliseum. I told the guy when I turned, I said, man, you don't need to come and hassle me. I'm over here rehearsing because I got to go in front of the camera. I said, they're going to eliminate you anyway, man. I don't know why you bothered me. He got eliminated the first time he went in. Ultimately, I got all the way through to the casting, producers, and the whole shot. But I knew they weren't going to deal with me. I knew it before I even got there.
Why did you say that?
Because I knew that they wanted somebody that they could use. These particular guys from England,
Okay.
they were both 2 English guys.
They want a young, hot.
That I knew it because I knew no one could, because when I auditioned for it, right, they had us in the stadium where everybody had to come and see your audition.
Oh, okay.
And the people went crazy when they saw my costume and when I did the vocal on it. So I knew. As a matter of fact, I had hung with the producer the whole time, and he never knew it was me until I come in the room. And he said, can I see who's behind that mask? And when I pulled the mask off, he said, my God, it's you.
Wonder if that's where the Masked Singer came from.
Probably.
Just saying.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a wonderful, wonderful interview with a very lovely young lady. John E. Williams, my co-host.
I'm happy
My
to be
name
here.
is Ron Knight, and we're here with the Entertainment First podcast, which is all about the music and so much more.
Lots
Thank you
of
so much for
entertainment.
having me on.
I am honored.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week, live and in color.